up, straight. I can't stand the Wix panels. Thank you to people that donated to me last night when I was off stream. Thank you. I appreciate it. That was very nice. I was getting nice dopamine hits all throughout the night with people watching the stream when I was done streaming. It was so nice. It was so nice and kind of you. I am truly gracious. Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious, my house is so spacious. Not really, I'm kidding. Like, why is Trump racist? Oh crap. Perfect. See, this is what I'm talking about. I'm sick of people believing things that Trump says. We're gonna fix it. We're gonna fix it though. We're gonna fix it. We're gonna fix it. It's gonna be better. Don't worry. Everything's gonna be better. What's happening right now is not real. There's an aberration. I don't know what aberration even means, to be honest. What does aberration mean? Let's see. Aberration is a departure from what's normal, usual, or expected. Yeah, it's an aberration. We'll go right back. It's easy. What is this?
You know, I just wanted to say, I remember last night you were saying something about, you know, who built the buildings in California and stuff. It's the only thing you Democrats worry about. Who's going to pick the crops? Who's going to do the work outside that none of us want to do? Who's going to pick the crops? That's all you Democrats complain about. That's what y'all complained about prior to the Civil War, before the Yankees came in. Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves. The Democrats have always been the KKK.
I wish I was this stupid. It'd be so
nice. The leader
nice.
of the KKK endorsed Kamala Harris this year.
Yeah, that definitely happened.
So cry another river, dude. You're a weak, pathetic Western European white male.
What?
Pathetic.
There's gotta be a memester. There's gotta be a jokester. Gotta be a prankster. I refuse to believe actual human beings believe what they did, what that person just said. What that person just said. That was interesting. Good voicemail. Thank you. Nice. God, dude. That's awesome. What do you guys think about that one? It would be great to live life in their world. It'd be awesome. It'd be so sweet. You really just don't need to worry about anything at all. I love water. What did Breaking Point say about...
The president's post overnight saying that the pardons that were issued by President Biden preemptively to members of the January 6th committee, that they're now null and void. Have attorneys here at the White House told President Trump that he has the legal authority to undo a pardon simply because it was signed by auto pen, as he said?
The president was begging the question that I think a lot of journalists in this room should be asking about whether or not the former president of the United States, who I think we can all finally agree was cognitively impaired. I know it took people some time to finally admit that, but we all know that to be true, as evidenced by his disastrous debate performance against President Trump during the campaign. I digress on that. But the president was raising...
He was lying. He was begging the question, which is basically lying. He was just begging the question.
The point that, did the president even know about these pardons? Was his legal signature used without his consent or knowledge? And that's not just the president or me raising those questions, Caitlin. According to the New York Post, there are Biden officials from the previous White House who raised those questions and wondered if the president was even consulted about his legally binding signature being signed onto...
Yeah, dude. Joe Biden was not consulted. He was not consulted at all. You know that Donald Trump's pardon for the January 6 people That was also done by AutoPen because Trump was not going to sign a different pardon for 1,000 people.
Documents. And so I think it's a question that everybody in this room should be looking into, because certainly that would propose perhaps criminal or illegal behavior if staff members were signing the President of the United States autograph without his consent.
Is on the record.
I hate her dumb lips, dude. I hate the lip injections. It's really sad. Someone that's like 25. How old is she? I know her husband's like 60-10. Her husband's like 85 years old. Caroline Levitt age. I just hate how her lips like poke out at you. It's like the stupidities come in and smack you in the face. Like you see her before the lip injections. She was really insecure about her lack of lips, which is okay. You know, your smile was designed by God, and you should not feel insecure about that. But then she got lip injections, and now she is a duck. Wah, wah.
Talking about issuing preemptive pardons to these people.
But was he aware of his signature being used on every single pardon? That's a question you should ask the Biden
Is
White
there any
House.
evidence on that he wasn't aware of it?
You're a reporter. You should find out.
Was there any evidence? You're a reporter. You should find out, dude. They just talk like their supporters talk. Really. Oh, here's my claim. Where's your proof for the claim? Oh, why don't you tell me? I love this shit, dude. This is good times. This is good times. This is good freaking times. I love all of this. This makes me so happy to be proud to be in. Oh my god, dude. Permanent duck face. Quack, quack. Quack. And also, the awesome thing about... Okay, no one cares about the... Okay, so this right here is a United States congressperson, okay? And he said Joe Biden ignored the Supreme Court so he could pay off student loans of his supporters. Donald Trump ignored an activist judge so he could deport foreign gangsters. Need I say more? Now, Republicans put all of Biden's cases as much as they possibly could. They directed it towards a court in like Texas, I'm pretty sure, because the judge there was really anti-Biden. And seeing a U.S. representative repeat the online lies about just like blatant lies, and he knows it's a lie, that Biden ignored the Supreme Court. Never happened at all. But they know their supporters either hate liberals enough to lie, or they're too dumb to understand how that process would work, where you have one means of canceling student loan debt, and the Supreme Court says no, and you're like, okay, well, I can't do that anymore, and you do what you want to accomplish in a different way. Because Donald Trump is a terrible leader. He cannot pass any policies or laws. He needs to do things with executive order. And if the court tells him no, he has to just like whine like a baby until they let him do it, because Trump cannot find other ways to do workarounds. And they project onto Biden and Democrats and whatever what they actually do. That's the truth of it. It's really weak. Really weak. I just feel like this is one of those topics where if you hear someone say Joe Biden ignored the Supreme Court to pay off student loans, you need to discredit their opinion completely. And if you believe this, and if you keep on saying it, you are a dishonest person. You're a dishonest person. You know you're a bad person. You know you like lying, and it's just how it is. If you own it, that's cool. You can give me a little smirk to let me know you're lying. But I mean, people that call into this channel, I could tell they know they're lying all the time. It's really pathetic. This too, the Democratic Party's actions left many U.S. citizens feeling humiliated. It's like, it's just reinforcing the point that governing does not matter. Policies do not matter. You know, policies do not matter at all to these people. Policies are an afterthought. Yeah. Then we have a Democrat who's one of the vice chairs of the party talking about how we need to ban guns. And that's going to be another losing political issue. That's like the last thing you want to push for now, by the way, because if Trump's administration has anti-gun laws, they will definitely use them to go after Democrats and to take Democrats' guns away. Yeah, well, Trump pausing funding, it's whatever. It's whatever. Remember when Elon made his supporters pay for the Tesla before it was ready?
This plane up, head to Phoenix to meet with some folks to talk about Donald Trump's planned cuts to Medicaid. How he wants to use those Medicaid cuts to pay for a big
Yeah, I'll get a duck emote that's Caroline leave it alone as a duck. That'll really fix what's going on here. I'm really interested in what Kyle Kulinski says about. I know what he's gonna say about this. There's a story about someone's social security payment being taken from them because Doge said they were dead, but they're alive. Trump says MSNBC is illegal. CNN's illegal. That happened before. What's this? Oh, here's the video I wanted to watch earlier.
All right, guys.
I want to hear Kyle Kulinski's opinion. I want to hear Kyle Kulinski's opinion on how Democrats can fix their popularity, bro.
All right, guys. So a poll came out the other day, which is absolutely raising eyebrows everywhere. And the bottom line is the Democratic Party is at a historically unpopular point. And the reason it's unpopular is very straightforward. Democratic voters view Democratic politicians as collaborators. They view them as snuggling up to MAGA, trying to split the difference, trying to compromise, trying to do negotiation and bipartisanship with a political movement that is basically a fascist death cult. And so now the sentiment that you're getting from the
No, becoming independent is not the answer. Maybe for a little bit if you want to be independent in primary states that are closed, non-closed primary states, but you don't want to go independent if your state has closed primaries. You still need to vote Democrat, but you have to make it very clear which Democrats you're going to vote for, and make it very clear which ones you're not going to accept.
Democratic base is the sentiment that basically we've had on this show since its fucking founding, since 2012. This idea that you have to have a spine, you have to fight, you have to stand for something, you have to oppose the far right's insanity, and this is, again, a historic low for the Democratic Party. Let's watch and we'll break it down.
Democrats call.
You also need, my big thing, you need a real counter-propaganda and a narrative approach that works, because right now, the Democrat leaders, they're really good at politics from like 30 years ago, but the current political landscape, you need someone that can use a microphone very effectively, that can be influential and charismatic and understand the current media landscape, and also who seems very genuine. And you probably do need to push for policies just so you have actual backing from the grassroots. Some type of policies for healthcare, some type of policies for reining in big corporations that are real policies. I have friends that were not going to vote ever in their entire lives, and they heard Kamala talk about price gouging once, banning price gouging, and they didn't know what it means, but they liked that there was a politician talking about price gouging because they see big companies kill all the small businesses and come into their town and build huge factories and spy on our information and steal our data, scanning our surroundings and listening to us and our privacy to give us ads for Blue Chew to help us get erections. So people that don't know much about politics, they like knowing, just generally what is that politician going to fight for. And Democrats fail in that regard. They post like 85,000 word memes that don't get to any like clear point, and they need to fix that strategy. And it would be nice to have a party that's truly anti-monopoly, a true anti-monopoly party. And if you do push for those policies, you're going to seem a lot more genuine when you're talking about those issues.
Call your office. We're March Madness time.
It's like, yeah, we're going to fix healthcare. How? We're going to fix money in politics. How? We're going to fix the political system and help these authoritarians. We're going to make sure they don't win anymore. How? And Democrats never provide a clear solution because their answer is we're going to return to the system that gave us Donald Trump. And it's clear that in this era, we're going to like a post-constitutional moment almost, going back to the system that brought us Donald Trump. And I've heard this argument before, which I agreed with because I said it in 2020. Going back to the system like a Joe Biden system is going to lead to more fascism if we don't truly fundamentally change the system for the better. The executive overreach we're seeing right now from Donald Trump has been developing. Okay, it's been developing for a very long time. Executive overreach has been a thing for 50, 60, for however long we can remember. Executive power has been expanding. So this is the place you end up at. And our system really is held together by gentlemen's agreements, and it's held together by people that agree to not break the system, and they agree to just play by the rules. There's no real mechanisms that make it very, very resilient to a charismatic leader, and we got very lucky so far. But yeah, how do we fix the system? How do we fix it in a way that's going to seem different, that's going to message effectively, and that's going to prevent future authoritarians from rising? And I'd say FDR's rhetoric is a good example of rhetoric that is that's very useful in these times. And you need to use rhetoric. We don't need $2 billion spent on ad campaigns that, you ever think about that? How Democrats spent like $2 billion on ads that no one listened to? These ads that no one really cared about, when they could have spent money funding local parties and funding grassroots organizers and funding actual methods that will reach people, that'll reach people. But no, they spent money on advertisements on ESPN or whatever. That 10-second video of Kamala, you think that's going to take apart someone's propaganda they believe after watching a 10-hour Joe Rogan special or a 10-hour Joe Rogan podcast or Theo Vaughn or whoever else you watch, Candace Owens, Ben Shapiro? Their propaganda is intense. Democrats need some type of grand messaging platform or messaging strategy. And I would say that, Bernie has that. AOC has those intangibles. I would also say that Andy Beshear has a different kind of beneficial intangible that could be very, very helpful. Andy Beshear can talk about, LGBT issues in a very disarming way, which is what we need. He has a really high approval rating in Kentucky talking about being pro-trans. So his rhetoric needs to be studied. We need a combination of like Andy Beshear, Bernie Sanders, AOC, and we need to cut out completely Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer. That's really the adjustment for the party that we need to go in. We do not need any more Kamala Harris's. She only appeals to Democratic voters. We need someone that has appealed to median voters. And if you know median voters, they are they're a very special group of voters. Very special.
Times terrible, terrible, terrible.
Very
to
unique.
Quote the great Charles Barkley, view Democratic Party favorably. CNN SRS, look at this, 29%. NBC News, you want to go lower than that? How about 27%? Both are record lows. The lowest going back to 1992 in CNN polling, the lowest going back on record to 1990 in NBC News polling. The majority of Americans hold an unfavorable or negative view of the Democratic Party at this point. All I can say is I'm a big fan of the oldies, so I'm going to quote Chubby Checker.
Someone said Democrats are being exposed for having bad ideas. No, Republicans just lie a lot and they have no ideas. So it's easy to defend their ideas because they don't have any. Democrats actually need to defend things. Democrats need to defend trans people, and they need to defend financial regulations for big banks. They need to defend talking about systemic racism. All Republicans need to do is shit on the floor and yell and cry like a baby, and they can make their point heard loud and clear. Trump probably had the worst debate performance in American history, only second to Joe Biden's performance against Trump when he debated Kamala, and no one cared because you guys are just you riding with Trump, you're riding on Trump. You're not going to change anytime soon, but your ideas are nothing. You don't have any principles. That's why you're going to let Donald Trump tear apart the Constitution. You don't have principles. You just don't have anything you believe in. You don't have any way you want society to function. You don't have any outlook for what the future can possibly be. You are just void of all of that kind of stuff,
How low can you go?
Let me point.
I do envy you. I do envy you a lot because people like you, it'd be so refreshing if I did not need to think. It'd be so nice to just say dumb slogans over and over and over again and think I made a point. If I had that ability, I'd be a very happy person. Sometimes it's better to just not. If you don't understand things, how can you be? You're too dumb to feel stressed. I wish I was like you.
Point something out real quick, because this is the problem. There will be some people in the party, believe it or not, who look at this and their reaction is, "Oh my God, we messed up. We didn't snuggle up to MAGA enough."
I like Kyle Kulinski. I do. You need a counter narrative. Don't snuggle up to MAGA. I agree with him. I'm gonna agree with what he says here. I don't agree with Kyle when it comes to third parties. I know he said vote for third parties when you can. I would say for local races do that, but he really got too close to the Green Party and everything. But now Kyle has been launched back to earth and reality with the Trump administration because he realized that you cannot just run on popular policies and Americans he used to say all the time that Medicare for all is so popular. It's so popular. All you got to do is say, I want health care, and you're going to win. But now he understands. He even said how Biden did very effective domestic policy. So did Kamala. He realized that just good policy is not enough. So that's good, because before I'm pretty sure he thought that if you just do good policies, people will vote for you, which is not true at all. So he got a little bit more. He sees voters in a more pessimistic way, which is true. But Kyle is definitely a lot more on point pragmatically now. But he was the first person that I watched in politics on YouTube. He's the first creator that came up. I saw Jon Stewart first, and then I saw Bernie, and then I saw Kyle.
We didn't do enough negotiation and
2016.
compromise and bipartisanship with psychotic fascists.
Yes, the lies from the other side sink it. So for example, right now Donald Trump's taking credit for the Biden's infrastructure policy that Biden got through Congress. Trump is taking credit for it. An infrastructure plan that Trump could never actually pass in his term. Biden got it done, but now Trump is putting up Donald Trump signs. But when Biden did the infrastructure bill, he did not say the Biden infrastructure bill on the signs. It said bipartisan infrastructure bill, okay, on the signs with these projects. Donald Trump, if he does it, he puts his name on it. Big, bold letters, big branding. Even Joe Biden said that's his biggest regret about like the stimulus checks. Because when you're a public servant or a politician, you're supposed to do good policies. Good policies. You're not supposed to use it as a vanity session or as like you're selling cars on the White House lawn. Or you're not supposed to just like brand everything or make hype videos about dehumanizing and torturing people for the deportations or the kidnappings. You're supposed to just do a good policy, and the American people are supposed to vote for what politician is going to do the best policies. But the American people usually vote for whoever the most convincing person is, not really the most valuable person.
Will be some people who have that takeaway. I know it sounds crazy. I know you want to bang your head against the wall when you hear that. But that is always the reaction of some people, right? It's like when there's a recession or a depression, and then you do a stimulus package, and like the economy...
Yeah, call in. Drop a like on the stream. Hit subscribe. Make sure you drop a like. It'll go to more people. Someone will call in. We can have a fun conversation.
Covers, but at a slow rate. And then a lot of people look at that and go, oh my God, obviously...
Google Jeep White House lawn. So Joe Biden did go to multiple electric car manufacturers. Not only Jeep, but multiple companies. There was a bill that was tied to that with subsidies to different companies. It was not just, for example, a company's stock price went down. There's an EV initiative under Biden. You could say it's a bad policy, but for Donald Trump, Elon Musk had his stock go down for Tesla because he's doing unpopular things. And then Elon Musk gave Donald Trump's political committee $100 million. And in return, Donald Trump did an advertisement for Elon Musk. It's not even somewhat the same. But again, the way Trump does things, it really appeals to people that don't understand how the world works. So you probably do think it is the same. And I'm sorry, I'm being mean tonight. I'm being mean. You guys are all very beautiful people. But you should call in. We can actually talk about different things. And by the way, I also don't think politics should be involved with brands. But Donald Trump right now is blatantly ripping his followers off with the crypto coin. And I'm sure you're not going to... What about that? What about Trump ripping his followers off with a crypto coin? I want to see if the chat has an issue with that. Or are you going to say like, but Biden, but like Hunter Biden, dude?
See, we should have done a bigger stimulus. That would have gotten us out of it faster. But then there's a whole other group that goes, no, the problem is we did stimulus at all. We shouldn't have done any stimulus and just let the market rebound on its own. So there will always, people will look at this and diagnose it totally differently. But the difference is now that there's actually further data proving our side correct. Namely, the issue is the bipartisanship. The issue is the compromise. The issue is the negotiation. The issue is you're snuggling up to them. The issue is you're pretending this is a normal time. That's the issue. Chuck Schumer is the fucking problem. Given the Republicans their CR, which wasn't even really a CR because they made it way more conservative, and that was the only point of leverage you had to fight back against Elon's dismantling of the government and MAGA's insanity, voters are looking at that.
It's crazy. It is crazy that like right now, it really is the Democrats being weak. It's to check on if Democrats are weak or not, or if they're strong, or like do they seem like good leaders? Because that's all that matters to people is the presentation. They don't understand anything about like what's actually happening. You could even argue that you can shift public opinion on prices, not based off what the actual prices are, but based on how you talk about those prices. But yeah, Democrats and Chuck Schumer, whatever Trump does right now that's unconstitutional, or if he wins any court cases, when it comes to like a overreaching executive power, remember Chuck Schumer funded it. Okay, Chuck Schumer is the reason Trump's doing this. Chuck Schumer's name should be on every single kidnapping. Chuck Schumer's name should be on every single piece of deregulation. Every war crime we commit, Chuck Schumer's name should be on there. Every American that's jailed for for their First Amendment right, and any American who has their First Amendment right taken away, or any immigrant or tourist or visa or green card holder, whatever it might be, that has their First Amendment right taken away. Chuck Schumer's funding it knowingly.
That sort of stuff, and they're going, oh my God, you gotta fucking fight.
What about congressional Democrats specifically?
Thank you, Sri, for the gifted one membership. Thank you, Sri.
Yeah, what about congressional Democrats specifically? You think these numbers are low. How about this one? Holy Toledo. Voters' views of the Democrats in Congress among all voters disapprove, 68%. And look at the approved number, just 21%, even lower than the Democratic Party at large. This is the lowest on record for Democrats.
This is also how Trump won, too, remember? Remember that, dude, because Trump cannot be popular. Trump did not run any ads saying Trump is good at anything. Trump just ran ads making his opponents seem less popular because Trump is really bad at everything, and he's stupid and evil. Yeah, that's why he never talked about a policy. Like, people care about healthcare sometimes, but Trump does not even have a healthcare plan. He's been running for president for 10 years. He has no plans for the American people. He could bullshit his way into your living room. He could bullshit his way into your bedroom. He could bullshit his way everywhere, and people will believe him that voted for him. But yeah, the goal is spread conspiracies and lie about the other side, make them less popular instead of making yourself more popular. Because the negative imagery for the other side is easier to sell than a positive message or positive imagery for yourself. That's why most political advertising's negative, because people love negativity. People love negativity.
According to Quinnipiac University polling, you think these numbers are bad? Let's go to this side of the screen. We'll look how Democratic voters feel. Get this. The plurality of Democratic voters
does have an accent.
Of Democrats in Congress at 49%, and just 40% approve. Horrible, horrible, horrible. Oh, my goodness gracious, you just can't get worse than these numbers.
And this is the number right here really driving all of this. As Democrats have turned, Democratic voters have turned on Democrats in Congress and the Democratic Party. That's what puts the numbers at historic lows. What is it they want to be seeing, these voters?
What is going on? I'll tell you what's going on. They don't like what's coming out of some of those Senate Democrats like Chuck Schumer, because take a look at the direction of the party. Democratic voters on Democrats in Congress doing too little to oppose Donald Trump. Look at this, 77%. Should stay principled, even if it means nothing gets done in Washington, D.C. 65%. And this 65% is...
By the way, I am stealing more content, okay? I'm going to get on stream sometime and just... Especially if I'm not getting calls, especially. Like right now, this Kyle Kulinski video, I'm going to talk about everything he's talking about, but I'm going to put his name in the title to get some more fans of the channel, to know there's progressive media here, okay? And that they're all going to come, and they're going to subscribe, and they're going to donate to Jolah Politics on Venmo, Cash App, and PayPal. JOLAH Politics, okay? At Jolah Politics on Venmo, Cash App, and PayPal. You can see it on the screen, the other screen, all right? They're all going to come here and watch the video, subscribe to me, and be my friend, and become channel members for $3, and donate on coffee as well. They're all going to be my friends, especially during times where I just want to get on here and react to videos, because it's exhausting to do calls all the time,
such a difference from where we were in 2017 at this point, when just 33% of Democrats say they should stay principled, compared to 59% who said they want to compromise. Democrats do not want compromise at this point. They want a fighter. They want to go into the ring like Muhammad Ali did against Sonny Liston. They want to take down the Republicans.
True.
They do not want this compromise anymore. They want to be more like Republicans, get up to that stage and fight. And right now they feel like their leaders in Congress are simply put not doing so. And that is why their approval rating for congressional Democrats is at an all-time low, even among Democrats with more disapproving than approving.
Do you understand how big of a deal it is that CNN just admitted that? That CNN just said that out loud? Because understand, this is the first time in my life that the data backs up completely what our position has been every step of the way. And now they're going...
Bro, he could have avoided this whole thing with Bernie, bro. He could have avoided this entire thing. We would have been out of this. In 2016, it would have been over. It never would have happened. It never would have happened. We'd be debating what kind of healthcare we're going to do right now. Now we're debating on if Trump killing people without court, without any trial is constitutional. Is it constitutional for Trump to be king? Are we a Christian nation that's going to reject every other culture? Are we going to be a ethno-state? That's our conversations now. Versus, are we going to have healthcare? Donald Trump being in office is awesome, bro. I love Trump in office because when Trump's in office, bro, Trump in office means everyone's problems go away. I don't hear anyone talking about their health care, about their job security, about, labor, about Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. I don't hear anyone talking about grocery prices, no matter how bad it gets, even during COVID. Trump supporters are living in bliss 24/7. They don't need to experience stress. They don't need to feel dumb ever. They just feel good all the time. And if things are not going good, they're going to say it's going good. Number one, because, you just tell people you're doing good if they say how you been. How you been? I'm doing good, buddy. But also because they'll never admit that Trump did anything wrong ever. That'd be awesome, right? That'd be so awesome to live in that mind state. You never need to be wrong. Oh my goodness.
Out there and they're saying it. This is why people are now saying, holy shit, we need a Democrat version of the Tea Party. Well, guys, that's what I was a co-founder of that in 2017, 2018. With Justice Democrats, And I've said it now 4 or 5 times. I'll say it again. We just missed our window. The world wasn't ready yet for a Democrat Tea Party because in 2017, 2018, Democrats really thought like, you know what, we'll give Trump a chance in the sense that maybe we could.
Don't forget as well that it's easier for Trump to take over Republicans because Republicans have no values or principles to begin with. They're just like anti-liberal. That's why they only talk about like wokeism and pronouns and stuff. And like when they talk about what Trump's doing good, they talk about pronouns and wokeism because they don't know, like, they don't care about much else other than just being anti-liberal, anti-woke, anti-progressive. But it's easier for Trump to take over because they have no principles, number one, and Trump is pro-big money. He's deregulating everything. He's deregulating companies. He's letting companies give kids cancer. He's taking away children's health care. He's cutting programs that benefit the American people. It's really easy to do that, you know, when you're not fighting the ultra-wealthy, when you're on the same team as the establishment, when you're on the same team as the ultra-wealthy, they'll let you get into power much easier than, you know, Bernie Sanders, for example, who wants to give workers more rights, more labor protections, and who wants to make sure our kids are not getting cancer chemicals injected in their veins by companies that are just like dumping sewage in the water supplies, and taxing the wealthy to pay for programs that other European countries have in Canada and, you know, a bunch of other countries have with better outcomes. You know, European infrastructure is a lot nicer than ours. Why? We're America. Why can't we have nicer infrastructure? But like Trump, all you got to do is be like, I love rich people and I hate government and I hate liberals. You could be a conservative. Good job, buddy. To be on the left, though, you have to understand a little bit more, or you at least need to be empathetic or sympathetic, or you have to understand other people. And it's more of a collective mindset. How do you work with others? Not just how you know, it's harder to work with others. It's harder to lead and actually pass laws than it is to just be a dictator. You know,
could pick off certain issues and work with him on it and maybe get some decent stuff done. That's how Democrats felt at the time. And, you know, part of me also felt like that. There were some issues he put front and center on the campaign trail, like I'm against outsourcing, where, hey, maybe you can make a deal or work with him on something
empathy,
like that.
Yeah.
It's no longer 2017. It's no longer 2018. Right? And the window for the Democratic Tea Party, this is the moment.
It's so sad, dude.
Because all of the data is backing it up in a stunning fashion. They want leaders. They want fighters. They want people with spine. They want people with principle and conviction, which is why Bernie Sanders at the age of 112 is selling out fucking arenas and then having, you know, overflow rooms for his anti-oligarchy tour in March of an off-election year. By the way, a different poll came out. You ready for this? This is a first. Potentially a first of many. I forget who did the poll, but they asked, which Democrat do you view as the party's leader right now? You know who number one was in that poll?
AOC. AOC was on a show with Bernie, too. I have to watch that at some point.
And now AOC is joining Bernie on the anti-oligarchy tour.
Yeah. Anti-oligarchy tour. Do you think people know what oligarchy means? Is that a good word for it? Is that the only word for it? What do you think? I'm not really sure. I'm not sure. It probably is a good word because people don't have a preconceived notion of what oligarch means. And the right wing's really good at branding, so sometimes it's good to use words that are really easy to identify, that are very different from the words that other people are going to be using. Yeah, dude. I saw someone try calling in. You can try calling in again. Are you watching? Are you watching right now? Try calling in. Try calling in. I saw you call. You're suspected spam. Are you spam? Whoa. What did I just do? Okay. Someone said, bro, you're weak. Right to the ad hominem. Ad hominem.
This is Jared Mason. I'm calling in to speak on your podcast about your claim that Trump hates America, and to prove you wrong. I'd be more than happy to debate with you on a plethora of topics. I'd like to talk about the preemptive pardons that Biden imposed before he left office. I'd like to talk about the border, the way it was handled, all kinds of different things.
Wait.
Yeah, I'd love to speak with you.
I'm in pain. Please. There you go.
Call from.
I'm restarting my short stream, by the way. If you're watching shorts, I'm restarting it. I'm restarting it. Thank you. Hello.
Hello. What's your name? I'm sorry. I just want to make sure I pronounce it correctly. Is it Jolah?
Yeah, that works.
Okay. How you doing, Jolah?
I'm doing all right. How about you?
Doing good. I appreciate you asking. My name's Jared. I'm calling from Kentucky.